Besides Mount Rushmore and possibly my Blu-ray copy of The Big Lebowski, I don't think there's a single thing in this world that I find more wondrous and beautiful and perfect than YouTube. And I know that sounds strange because of all of its problems, but for me, ever since I was a young kid watching YouTube on the family iPad, I always found it to be this magical place where, no, you may not be eloquent enough or old enough or even respectable enough to write for a big platform that talked about movies and video games and pop culture, but none of that even mattered. Because you were the master of your own universe. You were the king of your domain. And as far as I'm concerned, that's all I needed to actually be convinced that I wanted to start a YouTube channel. Because all you needed to do was talk into a microphone or phone or something. I didn't even know that far. But you talked into something, you press some buttons, and there you go. Your opinion was out in the world. What I failed to look at was the fucking editing that came with it. It seems as though however many years you've spent on YouTube, no matter how long you've been here, no matter what you've acquired in subscribers or software or hardware, everyone just hates editing with a burning passion. Even the exquisite video makers of Video Game Donkey and Nikki Jakey, who have, in my opinion, rather elaborately edited videos, even they complain and make allusions to how much they hate editing, and it can be such an agonizing and time-consuming process. And in this video, I'm not in any way trying to compare myself to them. Not at all, because my videos, if not poorly edited, or at least primitively edited, but goddamn is that not going to stop me from bitching about the process as a whole. Something has to be the object of my scorn, something has to be a scapegoat for why I don't have 1 million subscribers, and today, VideoPad Video Editor is the object of that scorn. VideoPad Video Editor is quite interesting in that sometimes it can work rather fluidly, and other times can have a total shit-faced collapse. Finding clips of VideoPad not working is not going to be a challenging task because that is how it normally operates. It's like finding chocolate in Hershey Park or shitty food at a Qdoba. VideoPad is just a shitty Qdoba. I don't know. That's just what it is. The challenge is going to be finding clips where it actually works, because it's like finding a needle in a haystack, only a straw of hay in a pile of needles, because of day in, day out, how you hope and wish and pray that it does its job, only to find out that it quite frankly does not. And the thing is, though, the days where it actually does work are actually the biggest contributors to why VideoPad is so painful to use in the first place, because it gives you this false sense of hope and power, like you can be doing this day in, day out and just uploading clips and splicing stuff together, when in actuality, you cannot. You are going to want to strangle yourself. Alright, so right here, its play button should be working, clearly is not, and then it starts playing out of thin air for no reason at all. This one, just total unresponsiveness, I believe. Yeah, and slowness. I mean, why I click on that and it takes that long, God knows. Just realize that people may have to rotate in order. That's another, just not working. Takes me another 5 seconds to highlight something for no reason at all. Realize that people may have to turn their phones for this in order to see it. Another reason why I fucking hate editing. What's going on here? Oh, okay, great audio when I can't hear anything or can't see anything. I'm not moving. Awesome. Fantastic. And think this is more the same, just blue bar, not processing despite the fact that I press play, and it's been there for 5 minutes already. You'll just have to take my word. Green thing meaning it's not processed. I'm stuck there looking like a total moron, and the audio is about to play any second, and there it is, even though my face is still stuck. And looks like, is this just another one of, yeah, just not working, just not playing, even though the audio's going on, what the hell? VideoPad, upwards of 80% of the time of use, is quite frankly horrible at doing what it is supposed to, said to do. And yet I hate the 20% more because it gives me so much motivation to keep on making content, only to have all my dreams, hopes, aspirations, and Saturday evenings dashed by when VideoPad decides to work at 0.25 times speed that it was running at the day before. I've used VideoPad now across 2 different computers. I wanted to make this video years ago when it was running on the Mac, but I didn't want to talk about it and have it only be running that slowly because of the actual hardware and the trackpad I was using. But no, now using it on a laptop on Windows 10, it's an equal crapshoot every single time. The only difference is that the iMac, it is free, and the Windows one with Microsoft, it is $160 some. But again, in a piece of contrarian logic, I actually like paying for it more because having it for free is an absolute lie because there is a price, my soul. Even when VideoPad is actually working correctly, it can still be an utterly confounding and asinine tool to use, even to use the simplest features and push its very strict limitations to their fullest extent. The thing is with VideoPad, I don't try and use too many things with it because I'm afraid my computer is going to catch on fire. It's like a millennial in the sense that if you put too many expectations on it, it's just going to implode. I only use like 3 things on VideoPad, and yet every single thing just loves it. It just finds so much joy out of being totally bass-ackwards and confusing me to know when the first time I used it, and still kind of puzzling me to this day. If you want to crop something, which is pretty essential to use if you want to get rid of unwanted stuff on the screen, you don't crop, you use the zoom feature. Cropping does not actually crop. So then you would naturally be wondering, well, how do you zoom in on something? Well, the answer is that you pan and zoom, obviously. You fucking idiot. Why would you not think of that? Maybe because panning is literally impossible to do in editing because you can't pan in a 2-dimensional space. If I were to pan, which I'm going to do if I'm going to pan, the traditional definition of panning, I would be moving across like that to my Snapple bottle. Now I would pan back, and then I would essentially do this. But all I want to do is this without that. So for cropping, I have to zoom. For zooming, I have to pan and zoom. Cropping is now completely out of the picture. It is absolutely useless, and I don't even know truly what its feature is. And in order to actually extend everything to its fullest extent to the borders of the screen so not all my videos look like a Wes Anderson movie, I have to set, which I can't even take particular fault with, but for some reason it pisses me off. Its name is set. What impresses me is that this is by no means an expansive diatribe on VideoPad. No, I'm listing just a small few features that I have issues with, and yet at the same time, these very few small things, just the slowness of it running, the unpredictability of whether it works, and the small features like zooming and cropping and all that nonsense can turn VideoPad and just editing on YouTube into a near 6-hour process at times. Sometimes I get rather lucky, and I'm either super meticulously staged in the editing, I know exactly what I want, or I just happen to be lucky and it ends up working that day. But it most of the times takes a couple of hours to edit, as you probably may know, rather simplistic videos, which is very infuriating considering that I know it's not supposed to take this long, and yet by the time I get so fed up with it that I want to quit, I'm so far into it that I just have to fight through it. What I hate about editing is that it feels more than anything else that it has held this channel back. I have written many scripts and have recorded many clips that have been completely lost to time out of pure hesitation that I have to carve out hours and hours of my day or multiple days just to competently edit a video. And that doesn't even bring into account the multiple copyright strikes that would happen and I would have to address later in editing either on YouTube or back on VideoPad Editor itself. Editing cannot just be a waste of time that instills fear in me to make any more videos, but it also just hurts the consistency of my voice on this channel. There was a time where I was putting stuff out and all I'd be doing was making 10 out of 10 reviews or then absolutely slamming movies with 3 or 4s or something very low and calling stuff disappointing, which of course makes me seem like an absolute moron when there's no spectrum of scores. When I watch so many movies and have such a broad range of opinions, it feels almost like an insult that I have such a singular voice on the channel and that the critical aspects of my opinions across movies are completely lost to the amount of times I've been deterred from making videos because so much can seem like a waste of time. As I said early on, YouTube for me was always just about getting your opinion out there, in formalizing it and crystallizing it in some way, shape, or form, and having all of this content that you've consumed and having opinions on it and just making sure it's out there. Not that people see it, but that it's published in some way, shape, or form. And for me, editing and the story of Lightspeed Brothers over the past couple of years from a creator standpoint has just been me battling against the chunks of hours that I have to spend and thinking of videos and trying to record and edit against them across with everything else that was going on in my life. And I hate that I had to do that. I hate that I had hesitations about it because ultimately I just want to make more videos. And even though I am going to college, I want to make more videos than I ever have beforehand because I really like this. But at the same time, I feel as though that I just need to get this off my chest because for so many years now I felt as though that editing has hurt my critical voice, that I've put either 10 out of 10s out or 3 out of 10s out, and I've said that stuff was super disappointing, but then I'd overhype stuff, and that to me is such a poor representation of my broad range of opinions, of my spectrum of opinions on so many stuff, that I had to just take this moment to attack VideoPad Video Editor for all the things it has done to the respectability of this channel. And I'm still going to have to edit this. Fuck YouTube.